back, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my Let's Play, my review on Monday Night Raw. This is Jake 2024. Make sure you guys hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see more. Make sure you guys enjoy the video. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw tonight. WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. And we are going to go through everything that happened in the show. We'll go through all the segments, the matches that have been made official for January 6th, the debut on Netflix. And we'll talk about the news and rumors for AEW. Maybe we'll talk about the fallout to the pay-per-view on Saturday Night Main Event. Um, right now the show about to be over. We're at the main event of the show right now with the Judgment Day and the War Raiders. Alright. I'm going to skip ahead here. Oh, we got chairs. What the? Damian Priest. How come we didn't see Gunther, but we saw Damian Priest? That was a great moment. Finally, they got the titles off the Judgment Day after all these months. Thank God. We have new tag team champion. We have a new team, the War Raiders. That was awesome. That was a great moment. That was a great win. That was a great win, by the way, for the War Raiders. Might well show this moment right here. The War Raiders. Eric and Iowa win the World Tag Team Champion. They beat the Judgment Day with the help of Damian Priest. Obviously, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, that feud going to continue. I think they will go at it. But I'm so glad. This was a moment. This was best. Match was alright. It was a very good match. I'm so glad that they got him off the Judgment Day. Now the belts, hopefully they can be defended more. They'll be on TV more frequently. Hopefully the Viking Raid use to build up the moment. Well, that was the end of the show.
Thanks for meeting. All right. I know everyone's busy and we've been trying to make this happen for a while. The reason you're all here is because I'm a big fan of your content. Well,
Alright, now let's talk about the show here. Hold on. Alright, now let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Gonna show y'all what happened on the show tonight. Hold on. Now these are the podcasters.
let me get this straight. You think someone's hiding breakfast words in football games? They're not even hiding.
Lights off. I think small sticks
know.
at 8.
They turn the lights off and everyone's like, why is it dark?
This is a comment.
All right, that is new tag team.
That's John WhatsApp. Alright. Now, Monday Night Raw was in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know why I couldn't go. I guess we didn't have no ticket. This is... Hold on. This is BC Amplifieds. Levesque revealed new Raw logo and Sagan. We released a detail on a big move to Netflix, new logo, silly Sagan. Hunter Hearst only lived to fate WWE and not the superstars. AEW policy signed another free agent.
That was so embarrassing. Always having to get up to fucking turn the lights on. They were take over a show or do something.
Alright.
Keep each other off of. Hey, folks, they're fighting in the fucking alleyway now. Everything.
Days go.
Punk addresses Rollins, showing what's happened back up Heyman. I thought Monday Night Raw was very good. It was a decent show. Tony Storm, doesn't matter what they do, turning. Balor goes from bad from worse. Yeah, Kajubin, they finally lost those tag team titles. Kofi returned to his hometown of Boston. We will talk about that later on. The road to Netflix, we had 2 title matches tonight. Thought the show was both very, very good. Multiple bidding war, multiple stars leaving TNA.
Sun chips.
Trying to wait for these damn commercials.
Multiple TNA stars gone from the company. Also,
Now this is Argo. He talking about AEW moving to USA Network. Tessa Branson now signed with TNA. Alright. Now let's see if we can find the news and rumors here. Now this is news and rumors. Ray Phoenix goes quiet after tweet silent.
I mentioned Ray Phoenix before. On.
So it says here we got Ray Phoenix seemingly aimed at AEW after report of injury time being added to a contract. He had since deleted them and questioned why. Plus he thinks the real strategy behind him saying the things he said in the manner which he said them. WWE Win Eagle title staying in WWE.
We just saw the return of the Winged Eagle WWE.
Those are debuts in return. Punk and Rollins is confirmed.
Saturday night's main event last night felt more like Saturday Night Raw.
Oh wait, I didn't. Yeah, they put yesterday. Now this is the Saturday night main event. We know Chelsea Green crowned the US champion.
Now let's talk about TNA. TNA.
You deserve it. Crowd turn on Cody Rhodes. These must be also other news and rumors.
It sounds so simple. But it is so hard.
Fans slapped Eddie. Okay. Answer Tony Storm return. Alright. Saturday night main event news. Chris Jericho appears at GCW.
After Cody Rhodes retained it.
Tessa Brands of TNA return. Chelsea Green, crowned the first ever Women's United States champion. AEW all-intended live events. Tessa Blanchard returns, attacked Jordan Grace at the TNA final with Houston. We know there was a confrontation with Kevin Owens and Triple H on Saturday. Is that it, or there more?
WWE Saturday Night main event was
The Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Alright, now I can go into the news and rumors here.
Work era is coming up to an end. We had CM Punk come into the ring, talked about how it's only a matter of time.
They're very good at reminding you.
Listen, I will say that the amount that they hammered into my head tonight about this headquarter deal that is happening on
The new logo looked great. I think it looks real legit here.
But at this point, we're at the point where like beggars can't be choosers, Denise, and we were beggars. We were begging for new tag team champions, and even though we got like 2 seconds of pyro, that's enough. I'm curious where this goes because clearly it's not going to be a rematch between War Raiders and Judgment Day. There might be a one-off, but clearly the end goal here is Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. That's the main like plot where they're going to take Finn Balor. So what does this mean for the War Raiders? Is it the New Day? Because the rest of the tag team division on Monday Night Raw, because of how stagnant the tag team titles were, has been kind of diminished over the last couple of months. And it's only been in the last couple of weeks where we've seen Monday Night Raw tag teams start to get a little bit more TV time, like we've been seeing with the New Day, War Raiders, and now Finn Balor and Jamie McDonough. Remember, they were a tag team out of nowhere. It seems like Triple H is conscious of the fact that the tag team division was null and void and has at least made some attempts to like restart it and jumpstart it. And I think that this is the big domino to fall to maybe give us an actually decently booked tag team division.
God, I hope so. But I have 2 thoughts on what I think is going to happen. So, Santi, hear me out. First and foremost, I do think that Finn Balor is about to break away from the Judgment Day, and I really hope so, especially given like how sarcastic Liv and Dominic and Raquel and all of them were sort of talking with him. They were like mocking him. Right. They were mocking him. So that's one thing. And then for the tag team titles, I do think there is a place where the New Day ends up being the ones to take the titles away from the War Raiders, because of course you have, the fact that you have the War Raiders are a babyface tag team, and I do think that the New Day are going to hold the tag titles, especially to like rub it into the fans a little bit more that they turned on Big E, and now look at them hold tag team gold. So I can see them being the ones to take it from the War Raiders. So what are your thoughts on both of those 2 ideas?
Well, I don't think it can, because it doesn't seem like the New Day can even change for a match. They've been kicked out of the locker room, which, by the way, I know we're going to talk about the New Day a little bit more later on. Why were they even in need of a locker room when they didn't even have a match? Did we ever ask that? Why do they need to change into their ring attire?
I guess they just want some place to put their stuff down and sit there, and I don't know, because usually when you're not booked, you hang out catering.
Yeah.
There's no more New Day.
Anyways, I can
The New
absolutely
Day
see
is
that
no
scenario.
We're not going to call it the New Day anymore. We're going to call it something else. We're going to wear a different emphasis. We're going to have a different time. You're not with us no more. It's just
Over the
me
last couple
and
of months as we
Kofi.
see the New Day kind of
You
get to a
are
darker
nothing.
side. But at the end of the day, we
nothing
have
but
the
a
New
piece
Day
of shit.
together. And
You
when
are
they're
nothing but
together,
piece.
they look best when they have tag team gold. And if they really want to accentuate this heel turn, this is the way to do it, because there is nothing more awful than seeing somebody that did something terrible be vindicated and rewarded. And this is what this would be, right? They did the awful thing to Big E so that they could be better off. And all of us, we want to say you're not better off. But if they were to win tag team gold, they're vindicating the awful thing that they did to Big E. and there's nothing more evil than an evil person that is winning.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate revenge. Exactly. They would be rubbing it in all our faces. The entire, all of the locker room. The fact that they kicked them out. I loved that, by the way. That little extra touch of saying,
Well, now let's talk about Monday Night Raw since I showed you guys the podcasters here. Now that was Saturday night's main event. Might as well recap the show again with what we saw on the show. I already did my my review. I probably should edit that video, but I might as well show you guys the recap just one more time in case you guys didn't watch my other video. This is Saturday night's main event. Drew McIntyre beat Sami Zayn. Io Sky, Liv Morgan beat Io Sky. She retained the belt. Pat McAfee returned. Pat McAfee will be on. I think he'll be on Monday Night. No, I think he'll be on SmackDown with. No, I think he can be on Raw. I don't know. I forgot. But Pat McAfee will be coming back. I think they said he can be on SmackDown or what? I forgot. But Pat McAfee will be coming back once the college football is over. He will be coming back to be commentary again. Drew McIntyre doesn't trust Jackie Redmond. We got Chelsea Green becomes the first ever women's champion. We got the stare down with Rhea and Liv. Jesse Ventura made an epic return. Gunther defeated Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And then we got Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. 16 minutes is how long this match went. If you count the commercials, it's like 13 minutes. Cause I think they missed like 4 minutes of wrestling. Cody Rhodes basically with the Ring Eagle belt. Kevin Owens revealed Cody Rhodes with the Power Driver. Yeah, so now this is what we saw on Monday Night Raw. We had an epic brawl here, epic promo package. Both of these two went back and forth with their promos. We had a chaotic brawl that was great. It was the best thing about the show. It was a great opener. Now they did announce CM Punk and Seth Rollins on January 6th on the debut of Netflix. So we will see this match. They will do it on Netflix on January 6th. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great match. It looking to be a big show. We got Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in the Tribal Combat. And now we got CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I think we will get Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. We're about to end Liv Morgan and give Dominic something. I think we will get this on Saturday. I think we will get that on the debut of Netflix on January 6th in a couple of weeks. I think we will get that. It makes sense. It has to be. I don't think we want to go through another month of Rhea and Liv. I think we might as well do the match on that show. It's looking to be a big show. Monday Night Raw will be 3 hours. SmackDown can be 3 hours too. But Monday Night Raw can be 3 hours, so it can be a very good show. We had a very good match with Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental title. Breaker conquered Ludwig in the title showdown. He retained the IC title in a very good match that I thought was great. Ludwig is really stepping up to be a star. Braun Breaker is having a very good title reign. We did get a brawl here with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. Sami and Knight backstage brawl with Drew McIntyre, so these two are still going. Zoe Stark advances in the Women's Intercontinental title. So you know that's going to continue. No one wants to be in the same room with the New Day anymore. They were kicked out of the locker room. See what Denise had to say first.
What I said in my review of Saturday night's main event is that this is the best Liv Morgan has looked. Yes, the match was short, but the match was good. It was hype. It was, in my opinion, the best Liv Morgan match that she's had since she won the Women's World title. In fact, it was so good that it was actually such a early as she had, because I would have loved to see Liv against other people not named Rhea Ripley, kind of increasing the prestige of her championship reign with more matches like she had with Io Sky in the women's division. I wish we had more of that, but this does seem like we've kind of turned a corner with Liv Morgan as somebody that's not running away, willing to stand tall to Rhea Ripley, and I'm here for it.
Dude, that's literally how I felt when I was watching this. I had thought the exact same thing. I'm like, this is Liv's literally best match that does not include Rhea Ripley. And like you, I kind of had that feeling of, damn, I kind of want to see Liv Morgan, wrestle more people on the show. It's just kind of a bummer. Like, why didn't we do that before? Like, why were we just getting a bunch of talking segments? Like, we could have done both things. We could have gotten Liv wrestle, Io, and who knows who else, like all these other girls that you see on the roster. I feel like they could have done that a little bit more because it was a good match. And I truly think with a couple more minutes, it could have been like the best women's match for WWE this year. And it was sort of, I also think, a little underrated. I put out a poll on my YouTube community section and I asked people like, hey, like, which one was the best match? And my personal pick was Io and Liv Morgan. And that one got one of the lowest ratings from like all the other matches, which I think was kind of good because that meant other people liked the other matches and whatnot. But I really kind of thought that match was a little underrated.
Yeah, I thought that the match was great. I feel like there's this general negativity about Liv Morgan retaining. I feel like a lot of people, especially in the online space where you ask that question, there's a lot of Liv Morgan fatigue because of how long this championship reign has been pretty much just symbiotically tied. What a great word, symbiotically tied to Rhea Ripley. And that is a shame based on what we've seen with Io Sky. So I feel like there's just a lot of people that are tired of Liv Morgan, but had we been getting matches like what we got with Io, I don't think that would be the general online center.
Oh, 100%. No, people would be like, let's keep the belt on her because obviously there's nothing that we love more than a fighting champion. Now, it's looking, we haven't said yet, but I keep feeling like this match is going to be made for Netflix Raw premiere, right? Like that's what it feels like.
That's what I would assume, but I also feel like they would have told us if that was the case. If maybe they were just trying to give more room for Punk and the Rollins announcement to breathe and not kind of like steal the limelight away from that announcement and have that announcement kind of be like the biggest takeaway from this episode of Monday Night Raw. I feel like that's what makes the most sense, though, right? Because beyond that, it's Saturday night's main event at the end of January or the Royal Rumble. I gotta be honest with you, I don't think this has the legs for WrestleMania because of where we are in the plot right now. I just don't think that it has the legs for WrestleMania. It would have had the legs for WrestleMania had they actually been brave and written out Rhea Ripley for a long time. Like they honestly probably should have after the attack in the very dangerous NXT parking lot, of course. Had they written her off for the Royal Rumble, then, or at least until the Royal Rumble, I would have believed that this has legs until WrestleMania, but there's just no way. This has to be Raw Netflix. I don't even think that it's got the legs to go all the way to Saturday night's main event at the end of January. I think this is Raw Netflix.
They got to at this point, and I just feel like how much, because we're obviously counting on the fact that there is going to be new people watching Raw, right? Like maybe some people that don't watch wrestling, they're gonna be tuning in. Hey, what's this thing on Netflix that's streaming live? Let's see what's happening. There's gonna be some of those viewers. Santi, that one of the people that appeals non-wrestling fans the most, it's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley grabs your attention, and so what better way to have to start this new Raw Netflix era than to start it off with Rhea Ripley holding that Women's World Championship and people going like, huh, who's that girl? I want to know a little bit more about her. So I feel like Rhea should kick off the Raw Netflix era holding that championship.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, "Who's the hot goth mama?" Let me say it for you, Denise. I'll say it for you since you will. You know that that's the general sentiment. Yeah, Raw Netflix is where it's at. I mean, if they're gonna have the top men, yeah, might as well have the most popular female as well on this show.
Well, so far we got 2 matches announced. Of course, we got Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, and then today they officially made CM Punk and Seth Rollins official. So let's get into what went down with this, because this was personally, I think, a far better execution of CM Punk and Seth than what we got last time with that match that brawl that unfortunately CM Punk didn't even hit Seth Rollins. It was kind of embarrassing for us CM Punk fans, had to look the other way. But we ended up getting this back and forth between CM Punk and Seth. And Seth ends up coming out from the crowd and he's calling CM Punk an asshole. And of course, just a lot of the same things that we have kind of heard already. Really nothing too new. But the best part of this was that once Seth Rollins basically pointed and laughed in his face that he has had far more WrestleMania main events than CM Punk, that's when shit went down. And suddenly they started to fight within the crowd, then into the ring, then outside the ring. And then when you thought it was all over, even though they had like all of these people out there trying to keep them apart, they then fought on the actual outside, like where the crowd was at even more so. Like literally, Fonzie, everybody here that was in the crowd got their money's worth today because I feel like the whole floor section, the whole upper little, the 100 sections, all those people got a really good view of CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But this was very fun. How did you feel that they executed the promos to the actual fight and then eventually making the announcement that, hey, this match is going to continue to happen? It's going to happen at Netflix.
Yeah, I thought that the brawl was fantastic, and I thought that the second. This holiday, Verizon will turn you.
God, but anytime Phil doesn't get physical. Careful, careful.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know, but things have been going good so far. Makes me very happy. I look.
So far, I haven't seen any. I already talked about those. Alright.
Whatsoever. At some point or another, they're going to have to pick who's going to be the bad guy in this. Punk talked about how he's the bad guy. I like the angle that he took. I'm the bad guy because I was a bad teacher, because I didn't teach Seth Rollins the way to be a properly good professional wrestler. So let me give you a lesson now. I like that stuff from CM Punk. I'm the grizzled, angry vet that's going to teach this dumb little idiot that's angry that I didn't pay attention to him when I left. That's the Punk stuff that I've been enjoying. The brawl was great, and the back and forth between the two, we need more of that as we move towards Raw on Netflix.
I think so too, and I feel like the crowd told us that Seth Rollins was going to be the heel last week when we talked about Seth Rollins sort of having egg on his face when he was saying all of these things about CM Punk, and the crowd was still chanting CM Punk. I feel like that moment told us that Seth Rollins was going to be the heel. We did have a backstage confrontation, by the way, with him and Drew McIntyre, and we've had two instances now where Seth Rollins has been compared to Drew McIntyre. We had it last week when Sami Zayn did it. We had it this week when CM Punk did it. And then they had the backstage interaction. And it was so funny because I thought to myself, look, it's Seth Rollins looking in the mirror with Drew McIntyre there. And even though they're not, being besties right now, they're not getting along. Seth Rollins is still sort of refusing. He's refusing to even be remotely associated or be compared to Drew McIntyre. But there's a part of me, Santi, that kind of wants to see Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre on the same side of the coin.
Oh yeah, you want to see the evil superpowers get together. You want to see the Dark Avengers, and maybe even we add Kevin Owens to this at some point. The Shield of the Hatred. Let's call it that. I thought that it was a really smart idea to have this juxtaposition between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, especially Drew McIntyre kind of throwing it back in Seth Rollins' face. Remember when you told me to stop obsessing over the bloodline and stop obsessing over Roman Reigns? Look at you now. Look, he basically hit him with that treatment. He told him, look, you're basically doing the same thing. It's not as easy as it looks to remove yourself from the hatred and feel justified. We also had that segment where I wasn't sure. Did it look like Drew McIntyre was running towards Seth Rollins to attack him? and then he was
That's
stopped
what
by.
I thought. Sami
Yeah.
Zayn then came out from behind and attacked him because what we were seeing was Seth Rollins was being interviewed, I think, by Jackie. She was asking him, about what had happened, and she barely got a word in. And all of a sudden, you see like Drew speed walking towards them. I don't know what that meant, but then Sami attacks him and stops him from that. And of course, he's friends, Seth Rollins with Sami Zayn. So now it's like, wait, so are they not friends? And why would Drew McIntyre go from confronting him and just having that moment to suddenly wanting to go and attack him? Although Seth Rollins did tell him, he said that he was going to get the job done, that he couldn't take out CM Punk. So maybe that did insult Drew McIntyre a little bit more than he let on in that.
We got Just Alex, War and Chaos. So he gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. Oh wait, it says something. Oh, trying to see what that was. Hold on. Alright. So I'm out there and Judy from New York and I can be talking yet. Oh. Major Pentagon Jr. tease. Is he coming to WWE?
He's doing all of these things, right? He's usually got a good grasp of his opponent. However, today we saw a different version of that because we saw Ludwig Kaiser come in with a plan. He came in with a strategy and was attacking the shoulder of Braun Breaker. So this time Braun Breaker wasn't, fully dominant in this match. We actually saw him try to fight up to try to take down Ludwig Kaiser, which I think did a lot to Ludwig Kaiser. But at the end of the day, Braun Breaker hits that spear with the other side and ends up, retaining his title, which I thought was, clearly I don't want to see Braun Breaker drop the title yet. So I love the way that they told the story to keep the title on Braun while also making Ludwig Kaiser look smart and like a opponent. You would want to see him work with other people down the line, not just Braun Breaker, but others as well.
Yeah, this was a really unique showing for both of these guys. It showed a different side of Braun Breaker that we're not used to, while also it's serving like a bit of a coming out party for Ludwig Kaiser as well. Not that I think that Ludwig Kaiser needed to show us that he's good. I think we've seen that. I feel like if anything,
everyone's saying that. Do you think The Rock's gonna go?
A heel that can be more than just a guy that sells really well and can have good wrestling matches. This was a guy that now didn't just bring a wrestling match to the ring. He brought, maybe for the first time, like ring psychology as a heel, working that shoulder and giving himself an advantage in a situation where he knew he was clearly at a disadvantage. So that kind of plays up to what you're saying. Playing that smart heel, which I think is great. And hopefully this is more that we get from Ludwig Kaiser down the line, because this served for me as a nice little taste test. I want more Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know what that looks like. I do eventually want to see him as an Intercontinental Champion. It's just not the right time. It might be the right time if it weren't Braun Breaker's time, because I do not want to see Braun Breaker lose. But this really did serve to me to tell me that Ludwig Kaiser has got it. He can be more than just a henchman for Gunther. He can be a top heel in this company.
It's like we've gotten Ludwig Kaiser in a bunch of samples and we've liked it. We're just haven't committed yet. Because that's the thing, like, you like him, but it's not
Ugh.
with shifts.
Big time full-fledged fans of Lupe Kaiser. I think the moment's gonna happen once he actually feuds with Gunther. Because that one's gonna hit hard considering how loyal he has been to Gunther. So when he finally turns, like any turn, people are gonna be like, oh shit, he finally did it. And I feel like that is going to be the feud that eventually gets Lupe Kaiser on the map. But in the meantime, I feel like what they're doing right now, showing him be cocky, showing him be arrogant, and going out there and looking the way that he does, and then also wrestling the way he does and being smart about it, yeah, that's going to be very intriguing. So I like what they're doing so far with Luke Kaiser.
Are you somebody that Costco samples work on them?
Oh my gosh, Santi, I was literally just tweeting about this the other day. So I went to Vallarta and I walked in, right? And I barely went like 2 steps into the supermarket. And there was a girl sampling tortilla chips and guacamole. I bought the exact bag that she was sampling of the tortilla chips. I bought the exact guacamole and flavor that she was sampling. Oh, are you kidding me? It works on me. If it's good, I will buy it.
And right now we're seeing the impact of fear on Capitol Hill. I mean, after Senator Joni Ernst issued what could be best characterized as a
sort of setting the conversation on fire even before Trump has been sworn in. But I think the narrative that you just laid out is really, really important. There are not just 2 things in this world: democracy and dictatorship.
Hold on.
Well, we are getting a live update on today's school shooting.
Information that was not available earlier, as I promised.
The Madison Police Department responded to a mass shooting at the Abundant Life Christian School today.
Alright. Alright, well, guess I'll just, Alright. Now here the, War Raiders capture the World Tag Team titles.
Relinquish your bacon. That's all you can do. Please wait for the super chat. All right, let's keep it going. We got the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. We got a triple threat between Kaden Carter, Raquel Rodriguez, and Zoe Stark. Santi, were you as surprised with the
What the
outcome of
hell?
this match? Bro,
Oh, no, hang on. Before the outcome, my what the hell was, and how good Kaden Carter was. What the hell?
she came out of nowhere.
No. So one of the cool things about this tournament is that we've seen, as the young kids say these days, we've got to see some people fall out that we don't typically get to see them fall out. We saw Kaden Carter with a phenomenal showcase there. We saw the same thing with Katana Chance a couple weeks ago. We even saw it with Elektra Lopez. This is kind of like why I like these tournaments. It's getting to showcase people that don't get to be showcased. I was very much surprised with the result, by the way. I was really expecting Raquel Rodriguez to either win or get screwed over. I was totally expecting Rhea Ripley to come out at some point or another to cost Raquel Rodriguez. Zoe Stark, out of nowhere, winning what I thought was a really excellent match, by the way. The 3 had really good chemistry with one another, but my big takeaway from this is we need to let Kaden Carter cook. She was fantastic.
I agree. Now, here's the thing with Casey and Kaden. I think that they are a fun team. They're very different from each other, but they complement each other very well. But they didn't get over on NXT. They didn't get over on the main roster together. And there's something that's always missing from them. I almost feel like, I hate to say this because there's not that very many female tag teams, but I hate to say this, like, make them go on their own and do their own thing, especially after what I saw today from Kaden. She was, I mean, I don't remember the last time we saw her wrestle a singles match. So for me,
Bob has Dashley, enterprise grade security with proactive monitoring, so he can keep his company.
Yes, he was the recipient of a war machine. Just like that, we have brand new World Tag Team Champions. At long last, Our nightmare is over. Almost 6 months. And these men defended the tag team titles 3 times. 3 times in 6 months. I think it's safe to say that we were overdue for a title change here, because it's just been absolutely ridiculous that these guys have been holding on to these titles and doing nothing with them. So as one reign of terror ends, I certainly hope that another one isn't about to begin, because just because we have new tag team champions does not mean that all of a sudden we're going to have this great kind of a rebirth here of the tag team division on Raw. I'm not sure it's going to be that much better as I look at the competition that exists right now on Monday nights for the War Raiders. But I'm going to enjoy the moment because it was a nice moment, a fun moment, and a moment where they got a very good reaction. Everybody was very happy in Boston tonight to see them win the tag team titles, and made for a cool moment. Got a little pyro celebration there at the very end, and especially for Ivar. Now, both of these guys have been through hell physically. I mean, they've had serious surgeries. Eric missed. My God, how long did he miss, right? That's why Ivar got that big singles push earlier this year. Eric was gone for a very long time. Then Ivar got hurt. And so now they're healthy again and they're back. But Ivar in particular, he's a Massachusetts native. So being able to win the titles in Boston, and he got the winning fall in the match, was probably extra special for him. I mean, this is a guy who, he trained Kofi Kingston. Okay? He has trained Mercedes Moné and, you know, had a hand in training a whole bunch of other people. Tommaso Ciampa, just to name a few. So he's got deep ties to that area. And so for him to get the winning fall in that city, in that match tonight, was very cool. That now leaves the Judgment Day with one championship. That's it. That's all they have left now, because they've lost the tag team titles. Raquel Rodriguez, she squandered her opportunity in the Intercontinental title tournament tonight. Got bounced out of the first round. That leaves Liv Morgan. She is now the only champion left in the Judgment Day, and she will not be a champion for that much longer. I can assure you of that. It's a matter of weeks. And then the Judgment Day will be completely devoid of all their gold. I mentioned Kofi Kingston a moment ago, and this being Boston. Boston is the hometown of Kofi Kingston, believe it or not. I know, right? I mean, he showed up years ago with a Jamaican accent. I don't know what happened. But he's a Boston guy. Even though they were in Boston tonight, not a doubt in my mind that had he gone out there in front of the live crowd and you put a mic in his hand, he would have been booed out of the building the way that the New Day were last week. That was the best moment on Raw last week. In fact, the New Day have been responsible for 3 straight weeks, the best moments on Monday Night Raw. So I was interested to see what they were going to have them doing tonight, right? Kofi's back home. What kind of reaction is he going to get from the hometown faithful? And I was left disappointed because they never even had the chance to go out in front of the live crowd. They had a couple of backstage segments. They got kicked out of the locker room, and that was it. So the New Day streak comes to an end at 3, unfortunately, because they've become now a must-see part of the show, and they didn't really have a whole lot for them to do tonight, and that was disappointing. But the big news coming out of tonight's show is that the match is official. The match was first reported, I believe it was Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda, and then confirmed by Mike Johnson of PW Insider. This was just a week ago, a little less maybe, that on January 6th, on the very first episode of Raw on Netflix, that it was going to be CM Punk one-on-one with Seth Rollins. They were not going to wait until WrestleMania to do at least the first match. And we were going to get it on Netflix in LA on January 6th. And it was confirmed tonight. We had a pull-apart brawl between the two of them. Adam Pearce later in the show made it official. CM Punk one-on-one with Seth Rollins. And that's huge. But it's about more than just one match, because they are pouring everything into this Netflix debut. It is all hands on deck. It is all roads now lead to January 6th. Now that Saturday night's main event is out of the way, no more PLEs until the Royal Rumble. It's all about January 6th. You look at the card now as it begins to take shape. CM Punk against Seth Rollins, which should be the main event on that show. But wait a minute now. We have Roman Reigns. Holy shit. Roman Reigns is going to wrestle a match on Raw? Are you fucking kidding me? Yep. He's He's got a tribal combat match with Solo Sikoa that was confirmed on SmackDown last Friday. That's 2 huge matches on that Netflix show. What else did they do tonight? They didn't confirm a date. They didn't confirm a location or a time. But they did make it very clear, Rhea Ripley, that she is now the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship. Didn't say when, but has to be January 6th. It's so perfect to do a title change on that show. If no other title is going to change hands and be defended that night, that's the one. So I think that match is another match you could probably pencil in right now for January 6th. You got Punk and Rollins. You got Roman and Solo. You got Rhea and Liv. You got the return of John Cena, who's kicking off his retirement year on that first Raw on Netflix in LA. So you got John Cena on the show. Very likely we're going to have the finals of this tournament to crown the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. It all lines up. I'm expecting the finals to take place on that show. So as they did on Saturday with Chelsea Green making history, becoming the first U.S. champion, make history that night. Very likely the first Women's Intercontinental Champion will be crowned. And there could be something else. Because in the middle of this show tonight, there was a tease. Little vignette. Nothing was said. It didn't give you a whole lot. But it did include this image here. And it kind of flashed a few times. It wasn't a static image, but it's a 0. I guess is that the European 0? It's a 0 with a line through it, but it's a 0. And then after that, they showed the preview for Raw coming to Netflix on January 6th. So it seems to be a tease for something on that first Netflix show. And my thought was the same as many of you, because I see people saying the exact same thing. First thing you think of, okay, who could this be for, right? You think of NXT, well, no, there's nobody really, obvious from there. So who could they be bringing in? Gee, I wonder. Who has it as part of his trademark catchphrase? No fear, zero fear. Sarah Miedo. Gee, I wonder who. Who just became a free agent? Who just wished farewell to AAA and cut a farewell promo in AAA last week? All roads seem to lead to Netflix and the possible Raw debut in a few weeks of one Penta. And now I'm going to be very disappointed, honestly, if it turned out to be anybody else. But that was my first thought as well. I think that on that show, we are going to get the debut of Penta. My God, you can't think of a bigger place, right? Everything is being based around this show. The promotion, it's the hype train, it's unbelievable. So if you're Penta, and if that's who it is, you can't ask for a bigger platform than that. But I think that's what it's for. Figured he was on his way in anyway, but why not? Why not on January 6th? So that show is loaded, officially and unofficially. All the things that I just listed, and that's not even everything. They're going to add more, right? We're going to have even more. I'd be shocked if we didn't have at least one other championship match on the show outside of Rhea and Liv. And I guess the finals of the tournament. But the other thing about Raw on Netflix, and I'll let you guys chime in with your thoughts on this, but we have the new logo, right? With the new era of Raw, we have a new logo, which makes me wonder if we'll have a new song and a new.
The teases just kept getting longer and longer, and I think that by the 4th week they were there in the WWE. I'm looking at the calendar. We have the first tease for potentially Penta, I'm assuming, here on the 16th. Another episode of Raw on the 23rd. WWE.
Not only are they so freaking good wrestlers, we know that, right? That's fine. We know that. But the fact that they are so marketable, Santi, they have
the dash through it, that's Zero Miedo. Left field. I was not expecting Zoe Stark to be the one to move on.
Enough with damn commercials.
yeah, eBay.
Like and subscribe.
Fine.
I think she'll be with your grandmother. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a situation that could prolong her life, honestly. So that's the way I look at it. Billy with a Billy bomb. What's up, JD? OTS family, been a while. Recovering still, but please, all from the OTS family, send your love and prayers to JD and his family. And it's the holidays. Remember, there's people out there that needs help. So give a hand or donate. God bless to you, JD, and the OTS gang. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much, as always. We love having Billy in the chat. And Thomas Franco with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD, prayers to you and your family, and let it be known we all appreciate your hard work. When going through times like this, let that never be forgotten, says Thomas Franco. Love it. Love it, guys. I always say, when I feel like shit, when I feel down, it's you guys that always bring me back up, man. And for all the messages that I usually get saying that I help you guys out in whatever situation that it is, no matter if it's depression or you're going through a loss or some sort of hardship in life, and you find some escape for 2 hours. Every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter, man. For as much as you say I give to you, you guys give that same right back to me, man. And I very much appreciate you all being here every single time we do this thing called Off the Script. I appreciate you guys very much, man. We'll go over a little bit later on what's going on. There is a goal, which right now we got 3 out of 10. So if you guys want to check the goal, what I figured we would do is if we do meet the goal and we do get to 10 out of 10 super chats in the goal, that would be the orange super chats. We need 10 of them. We need 7 more. I will close the chat down at the end of the night, make it members only, and whatever you guys want to ask me, we'll set the timer for 30 minutes, and we'll have some fun, man. So that is the goal for tonight. Figured we have a little fun. And if you guys want to partake in that, it is there. If not, don't worry about it. I appreciate you all being here for the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off the Script. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. Monday night tonight, it is the official start of the road to WWE getting off the USA Network and moving on to Netflix January 6th with that major show that will be happening in Los Angeles. And by the looks of it, it is shaping up to probably be the biggest Monday Night Raw that WWE has ever had. In over 30 years, I can't think of a single Monday Night Raw episode that will be bigger than the one that's happening on January 6th. Everything that we got tonight is building towards that. Everything that we will continue to get from this point on is building to that. The reason why Survivor Series, though I don't agree with it, the reason why Saturday night's main event, even though I don't agree with it, was, for lack of a better term, safe. Triple H played it safe. I feel like the reason why we are playing it safe is because that show is going to be an absolute fucking bang. And they're saving legitimately, instead of sprinkling things here and there, that Survivor Series, that Saturday night's main event, on these nothing shows that are going into the holidays. This is typically the slow period for WWE. After the slow period, they are going to drop an atomic bomb that is going to absolutely level everything in the wrestling space. We're going to see things that we didn't get at Survivor Series, didn't get at Saturday night's main event. We're going to get returns. We're going to get the build to WrestleMania. Normally, the build to WrestleMania happens in January at a show called the Royal Rumble. The build to WrestleMania will be beginning on January 6th. No doubt about it. Seeds will be planted for WrestleMania on that very show, and it's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait. It's going to be not only the biggest Raw, it may be one of the biggest streams that we do right here on the podcast ever, and it will be one of the biggest streams that the entire community has on January 6th, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys, man. I'm coming fully prepped and loaded, and I can't wait to start the new year right on January 6th. One of those things that happened tonight for January 6th. It was rumored. We talked about it earlier in the week. We talked about it on TNT last week. It was the rumor that CM Punk and Seth Rollins would be the main event for January 6th Netflix Monday Night Raw debut, and that's exactly what we are getting. Now, they didn't say it was the main event of the show. They did preface the match announcement by saying, this type of match needs the biggest spotlight and the biggest stage that it could possibly get. And Adam Pearce made it official tonight after a promo by CM Punk and after a rebuttal promo by Seth Rollins and a pull-apart brawl that saw them brawl into the crowd and into the ring and by ringside and then back into the crowd and everybody was pulled apart. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is officially announced for January 6th, Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. And a lot of people are saying and asking, well, what does this mean for CM Punk and Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania? I don't know why people are jumping ahead by 2.5, 3 months, but that doesn't mean anything. The fact that we're getting match number 1 out of it, I feel like it's only going to be a precursor to what we get at WrestleMania. And I do feel like we're going to get at least a 3-match series. CM Punk wrestled Drew McIntyre 3 different times. And CM Punk lost to Drew McIntyre in that feud. And I do feel that we will get the same or more of the same with CM Punk and Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania. That doesn't mean because we're getting it at Monday night, January 6th, Los Angeles, Netflix, that's going to be a one and done. We're not going to do that. What I see playing out here, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get into the breakdown of their promos, I do feel like we'll get one match at Monday night. I do feel like we'll get another match at the Elimination Chamber, or both will be in the Elimination Chamber.
It's in a moment.
And then we'll get the match
I'm finally gonna get what I want.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
The Royal Rumble is what I'm really looking at. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do to really amp up the feud going into WrestleMania.
Champion.
We'll talk about it a little bit more, but I do think that we're getting a 3-match series.
Get your ass out of here.
Welcome to the clip.
What's up, everyone?
That was quick. The War Raiders embrace their moment. Damage Control, Pure Fusion Collect. Promise that Pure Fusion Collective will pay for what they did to Kyrie. Alright.
When you shop
Enough of these damn commercials, man.
Later tonight, and then Raquel, in the cheesiest, most sarcastic way possible, says, that's right, because when you listen to Finn,
anybody and everybody in that thing, and obviously right now Roman Reigns has a lot of enemies. Roman Reigns has a lot of people that are gunning for him. So we will see what happens there. But Roman Reigns will be on Monday Night Raw, and it will be a very interesting story to tell with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa on January 6th. The other match that they teased tonight, which was also teased at Saturday night's main event, which we're absolutely getting on January 6th, is Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. There is absolutely no reason to think that WWE is not doing this match. So for all the Liv Morgan stands out there, I'm sorry to tell you, your woman is losing the championship. And going into WrestleMania, I don't know what we do with Liv Morgan. It's Rhea Ripley's town, and it's Rhea Ripley's brand. And Rhea Ripley is the story surrounding this championship because it was always meant to go back to Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley was always meant to beat Liv Morgan in the end of this feud. I don't know why anybody would be upset about it. It's just a culmination of a story. Maybe Liv goes on and wrestles for the Intercontinental Championship. We don't know. They put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort into building Liv Morgan up. I don't think she's just going to squander an opportunity away. Or WWE rather is going to squander an opportunity at building Liv Morgan even further. I could see her going after the Intercontinental Championship, being that WWE is adding a secondary title on Monday Night Raw. So I wouldn't be too upset about it, but that title was always meant to go back to Rhea Ripley. And the War Raiders, they are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. Thankfully, the Tag Team Champions are on a legit team that I could feel we could see them a lot more than the Judgment Day. I don't know where we're going with Finn Balor and the entire group of the Judgment Day, but it's been a long time coming. Their reign of terror is finally over, and the War Raiders are the Tag Team Champions. We will definitely talk about that tonight as well. And we got a major tease for Pentagon Jr. coming into the WWE. I put out there because I don't really want to throw it out there. I don't really know. I can only speculate from, my vast knowledge of the WWE product and what's going on out there. But they did have a vignette with a red zero, or looked to be on fire, and through the zero went it basically crossed out the zero. So I'm assuming that's for Penta, meaning zero fear. That is what Penta usually goes for as far as his logoing and his branding, zero fear. So I do think that WWE is setting up something with Penta. We'll talk about what, because the New Day have been kind of involved with different people here and there. Tonight they got involved with one Rey Mysterio. So I'm assuming if WWE is bringing in Penta, they will probably pair him with Rey Mysterio, and we'll get Rey and Penta against the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That's my line of thinking there. And let the jokes begin. Penta comes on into the WWE, and they already placed him in fucking LWO. I know that's going to be a running gag for the next 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm just glad that he's finally arriving, and I'm glad that WWE is putting him on a show that is going to get the most eyes on the product, because he is going to be a can't-miss act on WWE television. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to spend my Monday night with you guys right here tonight on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you guys for joining me right here on the podcast. We're going to get into it in just a little bit. You guys are killing it tonight, man.
Action.
And Owens aligning with these two. They want to put together some kind of a loose faction. All the people that have
Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Keep it by the dozen. That came out in 2003. They had to have Die Hard, you can watch that. Are there any more movies out here? The World Trade Center. No, not gonna watch that. Wait. So that all? At the for a recap, the highlight for the show. It looks like that's it. These ain't doing more.
Sure, but not one single time. How? How?
She should kick the fucking shit out of everybody's wrestling. That's what strong baby faces.
Matt, and tonight's show is sponsored by
the Diva era. I agree with Braun Breaker. Now we got to cut that on the chops in wrestling too. That's the next thing. So Kaiser targeted Breaker's left arm. Kaiser went for a suplex. Breaker blocked it and suplexed it. He rolled out to the floor. Breaker then went to the apron, and he hit a diving clothesline that sent both men tumbling over the announce desk. Back inside, Kaiser wrenched Breaker's arm and drove him shoulder down into the mat. that whole assault continued into the second commercial break.
Yeah, but I want to buy
Braun
myself.
still managed to, a few minutes later, hit his top rope Frankensteiner. Took down.
Well, I think so far my my live stream went pretty quick. I think I talked about everything here. Now this is all we got on Monday Night Raw. Now the show was 2 hours. I thought the show was very good. Everything with Punk and Rollins was great. They had an epic brawl. A great Intercontinental title match with Breaker and Ludwig. Rhea and Liv was pretty good. Good segment. Hopefully we end the feud. McIntyre and Sami Zayn, they brought back days. Zoe Stark advances. The War Raiders capture the World Tag Team titles. I think that was it, really. The 4 matches here.
Soft drinks are just.
Hey, I'm Vanessa Hudgens, and I am so excited because I am
While I'm overjoyed.
Alright, well,
You didn't come on.
now those are the highlights, the Saturday Night main event. To be revealed the new logo for Raw. That was on SmackDown. There's NXT. Well,
Surprised how few arms went up. I think everybody was lying. Everybody in the shadows played the role.
It's a classic come from behind babyface win, and that's what he was in this match. You know, clearly he was positioned as the babyface here. He seems to be slotted in right now as a babyface. There was no turn, but just the fans have been cheering for him. You know, they cheer his offense because it's explosive and it's fun. And the guy's an ass kicker, right? You don't have a lot of people like that on the roster. Like Gunther is an ass kicker. Sheamus is an ass kicker. I'd throw McIntyre in there too. And then you got Braun Breaker. And I mean, how many more guys like that are there? Right? There's not a lot. I don't look at Cody and go, oh, he's an ass kicker. Like, no. You know, I mean, who else? Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. And these guys are over, but they're not ass kickers. So, of course, people are going to cheer for that. It's just he's organically gotten himself over. And they bark, right, when he does the barking noise. So it makes sense, and they're embracing it, at least for the time being. It does make me wonder, though, like, if that was the role that he was slotted to be in here going forward. You know, had Bronson Reed not gotten hurt, as I was thinking, like, he's going to miss WrestleMania next year. And, you know, I was thinking, what would he have been doing at WrestleMania? Maybe the play was Braun Strowman. Bronson Reed. We got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Braun Strowman. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. You know, could that have been the match? You know, I'm still holding out hope for Sheamus, but could that have been the match at WrestleMania? And with Breaker as the babyface, Reed as the clearly defined heel, you know, was that going to be his moment to win the championship?
It might give him a new perspective and make him feel differently about who he is. So Punk is in the ring and Rollins is doing one of these deals. Puts his hand above his eyes and he's looking at the ring.
And he would probably have to lose it before then, but does that put Braun Breaker in play as a top 3 choice for men's Royal Rumble? You know, if he's going to be in the the babyface. And we're looking at WrestleMania, and if, let's say we're not looking at Gunther and John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Cena going after number 17, you don't have to do that at WrestleMania. What about Gunther and Braun Breaker? They teased it. It was a very brief tease, but, you know, a couple months ago, whatever it was that backstage segment where Breaker confronted Gunther and he looked at the title and they planted that seed. Could Braun Breaker be, you know, kind of a fresh face to win the Royal Rumble and go on to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, or is it too soon? I'm kind of torn on this because I think he could do the match, but it does feel too soon for that. He could get the match and lose.
Angry. I mean, there's only a couple of things that get Punk angry and throw him over the edge. That kind of shit does it. Punk leapt over the barricade and met Seth in the aisleway. They brawled and started punching at each other. They were separated very quickly by referees, agents, and Adam Pearce was out there. Punk broke free and went back after Seth at ringside. They continued to break free and fight, making their way to the ring. Punk grabbed Seth's hair and started punching away at him before letting go and rolling out of the ring. They got more CM Punk chants ringing out in Boston. And they met in the aisleway. They went in opposite directions. Punk went through the crowd via the timekeeper's area. Seth Rollins went and jumped over the barricade where they first started this brawl, and then they met in the crowd and started brawling again, and they started to get pulled away from each other, and Punk was all red. He was yelling. It was almost like a fucking demon came out of CM Punk, man. Real great intensity here. This was intense. It was very angry, and that's exactly what you want to see here. Puffing and puffing. They show Punk up close. Tessitore said this was outrageous. Wade Barrett said Seth came to fight. Thus, no Elton John sunglasses. And that's the way the segment came to a close. So you knew after this segment where WWE was kind of going with this. You knew that they were going to go and do Punk and Rollins at Monday Night Raw, debut, Netflix, January 6th. You just knew based off what we saw here. Because they're not going to do this big push, this big sell, and then not do it and wait till, I don't know, Royal Rumble or wait till Elimination Chamber. No, you got to get it done, and you got to do it right. And January 6th is right. Now, a lot of people are already asking, what does this mean for CM Punk and WrestleMania? If he's wrestling Seth Rollins on January 6th, Monday night, Netflix in Los Angeles. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's like people are just void of fucking logic. I don't really understand why this is even a question. It's almost as if these people don't think another match can happen after that. This is the way that I see it playing out. And I want to take you guys on a ride. I already mentioned this weeks ago. I do feel that both of them will be at each other's throats at WrestleMania, even before WrestleMania. I do think that they will be at each other's throats even before then, and that will be at the Royal Rumble. CM Punk and Seth Rollins will have their main event match on January 6th. CM Punk will win. CM Punk needs to win because CM Punk is going to get a World Championship match at the Royal Rumble against Gunther. That's what's going to happen. Now, Rollins could win, and Rollins could get a World Championship match at the Royal Rumble. But I'm going to go with CM Punk because he's already made speculations and speculatory comments that he's going after the World Championship after beating Drew McIntyre. So I think WWE is going to pay up on that and give us that at the Royal Rumble. Now, that will be a one and done for now. I do think we get Punk and Gunther at the Royal Rumble for the World Heavyweight Championship. I do think when Punk beats Rollins on January 6th, we don't see him until the Royal Rumble. There'll probably be some words spoken here and there from Punk and from Rollins on the road to the Royal Rumble, but I don't think they truly get involved again until the Royal Rumble. Punk is going to lose to Gunther. He's not going to win the World Championship. There's no reason to take the belt off Gunther at Royal Rumble. None. Unless WWE wants to have Punk go into WrestleMania and he truly gets his main event and defends the title against Seth Rollins. I don't think that's going to be a bad idea. I just don't really want to see that at WrestleMania. I don't think Punk and Rollins needs the World Championship. Punk loses to Gunther. And all because of Seth Rollins. I don't know how they finagle it. I don't know how they plan it. I do think that's the case. Seth Rollins will be in the Royal Rumble. And I already did a callback to 1997. And it was at the Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome in Texas, where Bret the Hitman Hart had eliminated Stone Cold Steve Austin from the Royal Rumble. Now, Bret went on to win the Royal Rumble, but he also didn't win the Royal Rumble because he eliminated everybody and was the de facto winner. Stone Cold Steve Austin was eliminated and both feet hit the floor. We saw it all over the replay. But the referees were, at that time, preoccupied with what was going on the outside. Now, it was Mick Foley and Terry Funk, and I think The Undertaker and Vader were out there. Something was going on the outside, where all the referees were basically preoccupied, and none of them seen Stone Cold Steve Austin go over the top rope with both feet in the floor. It was at that point Steve Austin said, "Nobody's looking at me. Nobody sees anything." He got back into the ring. He dumped out Bret Hart. He won the Royal Rumble. And Bret Hart basically went on his crusade of anti-WWE, which I think was the best Bret Hart character that we've ever seen. I do think that WWE is going to play up something very similar to that at the Royal Rumble. I do think that Punk is going to come on into the Royal Rumble, and I think he's going to eliminate Seth Rollins, just like Stone Cold eliminated Bret the Hitman Hart. And it will be a situation where he screws Seth Rollins out of the Royal Rumble after Rollins screws Punk out of his match with Gunther earlier in the night. I could actually see something like that taking place. And it wouldn't be the first time that CM Punk, who's an avid Bret Hart enthusiast, gives us a callback to something Bret Hart related. I mean, we saw it all over the SummerSlam match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I mean, it's not going to be the first time that CM Punk is taking the page from the Bret the Hitman Hart playbook. I would love to see something like that play out. So that's where I think it's going. Now, maybe both guys get into the Elimination Chamber. Maybe both guys fuck each other over, screw each other over in the Elimination Chamber, and then we get a championship match at WrestleMania with Gunther and whomever comes out of the chambers. John Cena. I don't even know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. At this point, I don't know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. It could be fucking Dwayne for all we know. But Gunther and Cody are going to be the champions going into WrestleMania. Short list of people who are going to be facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
John Cena, Randy Orton, or The Rock. Gunther, I don't know. I could see something coming out of the Elimination Chamber where Gunther gets his match through the chamber, and then we get his championship match all squared away at WrestleMania.
It's
and
not.
Then we get Punk and Rollins Part 3, the rubber match at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Doesn't need to be for the championship. Punk doesn't need to beat Gunther at Royal Rumble for the championship. Rollins and Punk does not need to be for the championship at WrestleMania. I would rather Punk win the championship at WrestleMania at some point in the near future. Not this year. Maybe we do it at 42. But that's the way I see it playing out.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly.
Well, half of it, but
yeah, I could be just all over this fantasy booking and nothing more than fantasy booking, but I could see that playing out in that way. Maybe it's not the same exact way that I'm detailing for you tonight, but I could absolutely see that being the way it plays out.
Yeah.
But January 6th is the best place for both of these guys to have match one. And you need to have that show be the biggest ever. And this is certainly a way to get that ball rolling. And if that show was not sold out yet, it is certainly going to be sold out now. So good on them, right decision. I'm looking forward to it. And I think Punk and Rollins are going to kill it. I don't know how you guys feel about this feud. I feel like the McIntyre-Punk feud was obviously a lot better. It was a little bit more detailed. I do think that the Punk-Rollins storyline, after the year that they've had off, kind of fizzled out a little bit. in light of the McIntyre feud, and we're all looking at the feud and waiting for it to be the same intensity that we had with Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be that way. Because McIntyre and Rollins are two different performers. McIntyre is more, I would say, emotional as a storyteller than Seth Rollins. There's just more intensity from Drew McIntyre than there is intensity coming off of Seth Rollins. I do think McIntyre's a better dance partner with CM Punk than Rollins is going to be a dance partner with CM Punk. We're going to let this play out. Match number 1 is on January 6th. Great move to do that there in Los Angeles. And that is going to be, I believe, match 1 of 3 for these two. So we'll see what happens. Rollins has got to get a win over Punk at some point in this feud. You can't have Punk beat him all 3 times. I do think that Rollins is going to get 1 victory in this 3-match set, with Punk getting the victory at WrestleMania. But that's the way I see it playing out. And I'm very excited to see how WWE plans all of this from January 6th all the way to the Royal Rumble. Moving on. We have Finn Balor and the rest of Judgment Day. They cut backstage to the Judgment Day.
I wish my TV.
One thing you couldn't do, which is take care of CM Punk. Looks like he was looking for some revenge for that smart remark.
Some sarcasm. Said, when you listen to Finn, you always win. Finn smiled back at her in a very
Well, might as well end the video. I made it long enough. I don't make it too long. I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Death the Lumis is happy. He called the mid-pain. That's something with the Y6. I don't think... Did we see him? We saw a bad day 7 with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and that was it. Well, might as well just end the video. I'll see you guys later.